last part of this 50 tag challenge with beautiful vintage ephemera sent to me by Sharika from Postal Love. Welcome, it's Barbara. So if I counted correctly, I've managed to make 45 tags so far. 10 of them I've created on video, so I will link those videos below for you if you've missed them. And the others I did off camera just because it would have just taken way too long to do everything on camera. But I will show you now what I've done so far, and then we will try to create the last 5 that I still need to do. So some of these are actually really small, which is okay, they're still tags. And I actually really enjoy small tags. Some of them have sewing, like you see here. These are some splashes with my Distress Stain Wild Honey. Had to do that on a few of these. And this is one with these numbered, I don't know what they are, stickers? No, they're not stickers. You know what they are. And there's this one. I really like these small ones. They are so simple, but I think they're so cute. And then I figured sometimes the simplest ones are the nicest. So these here, for example, were cutouts of some of the postcards that I had. And I don't want to do anything else to this. I think it is so cute. Same with this one. This one was the one with tiny rabbits. How cute is this? Didn't even want to edge them with vintage photo. I think they are so lovely. This will be beautiful in my winter journal. I also really like this one. Very simple. Love how this tag came out. This is again a part of one of the postcards. Even has the stamp on the back. I love that. 1932. For this one I used a die from Tim Holtz. And we have a round one that has a full doily on it. Again, the honey distress stain. This is part of a photo that I just cut out with my pinking shears. There's some cheesecloth and a feather here, and you can hardly see it, but there is some stitching as well. This one we did on camera. This was the fun children's one. This was also done on camera. Love the little button and the lace and the little tag here. This one was also done on camera, as well as this one. These are the ones I started out with, and they were quite simple. This one as well. Oh, here's another tiny one. I just love it. This one we did on camera too in the first part. This one I think I've done on my own. This was again a postcard with this photo, and it has 2 layers of different lace, the feather and a button. Probably need something on the top, but I can always add that later. This is one with a lot of layering, and it has a pocket here where you can add tickets or something. Then we have another one here with a pocket. This one also has some ink to make it more grungy. This was part of that same photograph. Here's one made out of, what do you call it, like a match booklet. And just made a little pocket for some tickets. Backed it with this to make it more stiff. This one, I'm not sure, did we make this on camera? I don't know, maybe not. Oh, then there's 2 more tiny ones. Then there's this one with the bear French tag. And there's this one with just a little bit of collaging with stamps. Then there's this one, which is kind of like a layered thing, and you can actually, let me just find something. So here's a ticket. You could stick things in here and in here. So that's kind of fun as well. Then there's this one. Again, made a little pocket. Another one with a pocket. I really like this one. This is a part of one of the old postcards, and I just sanded it down to make it a little more grungy. Added some layering there, and then I added this tag there with a mini tag with a stamp there. Love, love, love this one. Then there's this one that has two tags here with some stamping, and this was a cutoff from another tag, as well as this here. I love how these dangle off the tag. And there's another small one with a stamp and some lace behind it and some stitching. Again, we have the distress stain, the wild honey. Didn't do anything to the back. Then there's this one. There is this one made out of an envelope and then added a tab on the top with a number. There's another small one with a stamp. Here is a kind of like a fairy tale one. Here I used a die cut for the tag shape. And then this was on like another card. And then I just added two types of lace and a pink button. Here's another smaller one with some stitching, cheesecloth behind it, and some tumbled glass distress stain underneath. Then we have this one, has stitching again, and the wild honey distress stain. Then there is this one, which kind of has a lot going on. This was one of these receipt pads from like a restaurant. And then I cut up one of these repair tags, and a half of it I made into a pocket and stitched down here. And the other half I did a little bit more stitching here, and that just goes in here. And then I made a tab on top and added another cute tag here that I stamped on. Really like this one as well. Then here's another one. Some stitching, some lace, this felt leaf, and this one has the hole in the corner just to make it a little bit different. This one we've done on camera is a mixed media one with gesso in the background, lots of layering, as well as this one. And finally we have this one that we've also done on camera. So that is where we're at. I don't know if I can come up with 5 more. I feel like I'm running out of ideas. I did also make some clusters last night just to help me today. So I have some of these. I've seen these on, I've seen on Tina's video, Shabby Dabby Doodah. I'm not sure which video she has these, but I think these are awesome to have on hand. And then I just made some other random clusters, some with stamps, just using up the small scraps that I had. I mean, I still have many more, but these are awesome just to have on hand. So maybe I can use some of this today for at least one of them. We could start off with this postcard as a base, and of course I don't want it this big, so I will just cut a part of that with my trimmer. I have no plan yet with these other than that I maybe want to use some stenciling. Haven't done that yet. So let me just put them here. I will start off with my gesso, and just add a thin layer over it before I do the stenciling. And I will again just do this with my finger because it's easier. As usual, I have no idea what I'm gonna put on this. I have no plans other than playing around with the stencils. I don't know if that's good to not have a strategy. It would probably be better to have one, but it's just not the way I work. I have to work in small steps, otherwise it just seems like too much. Let's let these dry for a sec. Next, I want to take some coffee dyed cheesecloth and put it at least on one of these. Maybe I cut just a piece for this one as well, not cover the whole thing. I will just use my glue stick for that. So then a long time ago I made this stencil myself just by punching some holes in a thicker cardboard just with a regular hole punch. And I think this makes a wonderful stencil. So I'm going to use my texture paste. It's a Swiss one from Lazo. It's called Modeling Paste C Natural. I don't think I was able to find this on Amazon. I did get this from my local craft store. It is wonderfully grainy. So on which one shall we add this? I'll add it on this one. So I'm just gonna take my spatula and try to go over this as flat as possible. Ha! Love it. Look at this. How cute is that? I love this. How fun is that? And you gotta wash these as soon as possible because it dries really quickly. And on this one here, I thought I could add some gesso with some corrugated cardboard, which obviously I've used many times already to use for mark making. So let's just take some gesso. I think I'll just use my hand again, or my finger. Just kind of do this. I'm not sure if this is gonna show up actually. This might be a fail. It hardly shows up. I think the ridges are a bit flat already from all the times I've used it. Yeah, you can hardly see it. So maybe we need to do that in a different way. I found another piece of corrugated cardboard, and this one is probably going to work better. And I thought, why don't we try some brown acrylic paint? This is raw umber. Again, I will just use my finger. I know some of you out there are cringing, but I just think it works really well. I don't have to clean a brush. It's much easier to just wash my finger. So let's try this again. Oh, I like that. That's coming out nice and grungy now. Could do a bit more. I like that. Look at that. Nice and grungy. We could make it checkered by doing it this way as well. No, I think I'll just leave it like this. So these now both need to dry again. These are mostly dry now, so we can think about what to add on top. And I'm hoping that something with these will work. So let me start with this one. I really want to add like something like this. Kind of like that it's sticking out a bit. Love that. Maybe one of the clusters with the stamps. This one would work, or maybe even this big one would be nice. How about like that? Or we could maybe add some more gesso or something on it. So I will just glue this down. I think I definitely need to make some more of these clusters because they are so fun to have on hand. And then whatever project you're making is just so quick. So I definitely want to grunge this up a little bit more. But maybe first we think about this one. What can we do here? This one's a bit tricky with these raised dots here. I'm not quite sure. I should have probably put something else underneath. That's what you get for not planning. Actually, this is quite nice. If I just add this here, I like that. So this one I will add with my 3-in-1 glue because it is stronger. I think I need to clamp this down because of the dots. It's not holding well. All right, so we'll let that do its thing. So let's grunge this one up a bit. I think I do want to use some gesso, but this time I think I'll use a brush. I might regret this. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I just wanted to integrate it more into the background because it was kind of too much just on it. So now it seems more like it's one thing. So it's just a very light coat. Next I'm going to use my blending brush and my vintage photo to distress the whole thing a bit. I'm using this brush rather than this round blending brush because this one is softer and I'm not sure yet how dark I want to go with this. Next I'm going to take my Memento Espresso Truffle ink and ink the edges. And again, hold it flat so it goes more onto the surface as well. Like you see here, it becomes a lot grungier. I love this effect. Why don't we add a brad to this one as well? This is one of the Tim Holtz number brads. So let's make a hole. Maybe we should decide first where to put it before we make a hole. I think I'll put it up there. Like that. And I think we need to grunge this up a little bit as well. I'll just do it with my calligraphy ink in burnt sienna. These are so cool to use because they have these daubers. I can just drop that on. And then we could add some here as well. And here. Yep, that's all I'm gonna do. Maybe there's too much on here. Let me try to get some off with the baby wipe. Because I do want the number to be seen. Yeah, that's better. I'll just do this. No, I think that's better now. So do we need a hole or something? I think I want to again use this ID tag punch. I really love that shape. I will again link that for you below. This is from AliExpress. And I just want to grunge that up a bit too. Just around that hole. Like that. Okay, that's one down. 4 more to go for today. I'm very happy with this one. Now this one doesn't seem finished yet. I think it needs also maybe some stitching over here, because that part kind of seems a bit empty. This is too wide. Yeah, I like this one. Maybe we could add a little button here. Like this. Maybe we could add something underneath. Okay, I have this lace here, maybe a tiny piece of this. Yes, that's good. I want to thread through some twine, but I won't make a bow. I'll just make a knot on top. Like that. Let's edge this with some tea dye. I don't want to go too dark. Maybe even on those dots a little bit. And we could put a little hole here. Do that with this one. I have this dyed fabric. I did receive this in Happy Mail a while ago, and I think if we just cut a strip here, that might look really nice. That's number 2. 3 more to go. For this next one, I will be using this postcard as a base, and I will again start off by adding some gesso on top so that I can have a background to work on. I will let that dry. And next I want to play with some stamps. I've just purchased a couple of new stamps. For the first time I got some stamps from Crafty Individuals. So these are 2 that I've gotten, and I think they're really, really cute. So I've seen these on Tina's channel from Shabby Dabby Doodah. She uses these all the time. So I just thought I would try them. So these are the ones, and she does mention it, they do come unmounted, so you have to put this foam on yourself. You can order it from their shop as well. I must admit I did not enjoy that process a lot, so I don't know if I'll go through getting more, but the quality is great. It was sticky and dirty, and it just took a really long time to mount all the stamps I got. I got a few more. I guess in the end it's worth it because they are beautiful. So what I thought I would do is I would first use this one kind of as a background stamp. So I will ink this up and kind of just not even use my block, but just faintly. Oh, this is really nice. Very light script. That's a great background. And then I'm actually going to turn this. I actually should have stamped it like this because I do want this image to be like this. Oh well. And this one I will do in black. I'm going to use my Ranger Jet Black archival ink there, and this time I will mount this because I do want a good impression of this. Oops. I will just go over the edges because I don't like it when the stamps stamp the edge of the rubber here. Right, let's do this. Yes. That's just beautiful. Next, I'm going to ink this up with my tea dye. Definitely don't want this to be white. Maybe I need vintage photo. This is not doing a lot. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. You want to be sure that your ink that you use to stamp with has completely dried, because if then you smear it, that would not be good. Okay, I like that it's very uneven. And I will also go around the edges now with my other blending tool, which is better for edges. I will also go around it with the espresso truffle. And now, of course, we do want to add something else, like maybe we can make a little cluster down here. Maybe we have something already that we can work with, I'm not sure. We could use that as a base. And I do want to layer up maybe some lace. Maybe even some more lace underneath. I don't know. Not sure if that's too much or not. I feel like this is totally Tina style. Can you tell I've been watching her channel a lot? It's really hard to keep up with her daily videos, but I am so enjoying them. Yes, I actually like that. Let's do that. Now I feel like it needs something else on top here, but until I decide that, I'm just gonna clamp this down to make sure it really stays on. We could be bold and add some like golden yellow lace, just a small piece, and then to balance that, maybe we add some splattering in the corner. Risky, could ruin it. But I feel like I want to experiment and do things I usually don't do. This is the perfect time to experiment. So I'm just gonna put this down using my 3-in-1 glue for that, which is better like for fabric and lace because it's stronger. Then let's take the wild honey. And let's see if we can get a nice splatter going up there. So if you do that with these daubers, be sure to really bang it down hard, otherwise you will not get the splashes. And if you don't have these and you want the same effect, you could just put a blob of watercolor here and then take a straw and blow it in the direction you want the small splatters to be. But I'll just try it like this now. Yeah, that's actually really nice. Beautiful splattering. And I will leave it with just this one because I feel if I do more, it might just ruin it. And then I'm thinking we could also add a few more dots, maybe with some watercolors. So this is a palette that I have put together myself with a mixture of Van Gogh and Winston & Newton watercolors. And I was thinking about this beautiful golden yellow. Just using my water brush here, maybe we can, oh, maybe I should mix it. It's too yellow because I want it to kind of match to this. So let's see if we can make a few splatters like this. I need something to tap it with. I think that's enough. It just adds a little something extra there. I've dried this with my heat gun, and now actually in the light, I don't think you can see it on camera, but these dots almost look like they're gold. I just love that. And I think this one would really benefit from a nice topper. So once again, I'm going to use my ID punch. Gonna ink that a little bit. Like that. And unfortunately, I don't have any ribbon in this golden color. The closest thing I have is this one, which is kind of like a golden brown one, and I think, yeah, I think it still goes. Let's see. This is seam binding, I believe. And let's see what that would look like if we tie that around like with a bow. I think that is good. Yes, very cute. I got the seam binding from an Etsy store last year sometime, so also this green one and a few other colors. I will be happy to link that store for you as well. So number 3 done, 2 more to go. Since I really loved how that last one turned out, I want to try something similar. So I have another postcard base I can use. I will do the same thing again, but I will use different stamps. So the other 2 stamps I got from Crafty Individuals are these 2. So this is a really cool background stamp, like this crackled effect. And then I love this stag here. Highland Stag is the name. This is the number in case you want to look for it. So this is the website. I will link that for you in the description box as well. And the crackling one has a number CI116. They are from the UK, by the way. So I have them here. So we'll do the same thing for the beginning. We'll just use the gesso. This time to switch it up a bit, let's just use a brush. This is dry. See, what I don't like is I don't like these brush strokes. That's why I usually prefer my fingers. So once this has dried, we can see it's also a bit more transparent than if I do it with my finger. We can still see the photo through it, which is actually kind of cool because we are using vintage supplies here. So it's nice that we can see some of that through. So next we will use this one here, the background stamp. I I will use my espresso truffle for this again. Maybe I shouldn't put it on the block. I want this to be more flexible. Okay, I can press a little harder. This is barely showing up. Might have to do some more. You just barely see that. Okay, I'll need to ink that up a bit more. There's a little more now. I'm gonna keep going and build up some layers here. And I'm actually gonna do one layer with the jet black, just touching down parts of it, not the whole thing. And doing it sort of more around the edges than in the middle, because in the middle we will have the stag. That's more like it. There we go. Beautiful texture there. So let's do this one. For this one I'm gonna need my big stamping platform, because he is a big guy. Does he fit? Yeah, he does. Now he gets the jet black ink. Again, I want to get rid of all those inked up edges. Don't want those stamped, because they will stamp. I've done that so many times and it bothers me every time. Fingers crossed he comes out well. Ears could have been a little darker, but overall it's okay. He's so beautiful, isn't he? Wow. This is a card I could use in my winter journal, because I think he's perfect for winter. Now I'm going to be very, very brave and attempt to color him with water-soluble colored pencils. So I have an array here of different browns and black. Beige. I haven't done this in quite a while, and if you attempt this, please make sure you are using a permanent ink, like this one here is a permanent ink, otherwise it will smear. And be sure that it's completely dry before you do this. Oh, let's just see how this goes. I'm a bit nervous because I don't want to ruin it because I love it so far, but let's just have a go and see what happens. Obviously, I'm no expert with these watercolors or these colored pencils, but I think he will do. Not so bad. I do want him to blend in the page a little bit better, so I'm going to just gently color around him. Actually, I think I need some more color. This isn't gonna be enough. And now I'm gonna take my wider brush and see if I can kind of just like blend that out a bit. I have dried this with my heat gun, so this is what it looks like now. And I must say, I love this crackle effect. It really actually looks like the gesso cracked. It doesn't really look like a stamp. It is absolutely amazing. Now this one, I really have a feeling would benefit from some gilding wax and copper. I will link a similar one for you below, but I just think the color would go so well with him. So let's just see how to best add it. I just want to add touches, probably here to his beautiful fur. Okay, that was not supposed to go there. Yeah, look how beautiful. Like that. Maybe a touch in his ears. That. Does he need a tiny bit on his nose? Just the tiniest bit, maybe. Yeah. Just like that. And what about the horns? Yeah, let's just add the tiniest. That. And now we can of course add it on the edges. Like that. So I'll do that all the way around. And since he's going to go into my winter journal, I think I'm going to also add some snow, kind of. And I will take my gesso, and this time I will take this brush. This is kind of like a splatter brush. You can also use a toothpaste, that works really well. I'm not sure this is actually going to work with my gesso because it's very thick. Okay, very thick splatters. That's all right. I can live with that. I should have watered it down, but actually this has a pretty cool effect. That's enough. So again, we need to let this dry. That might take a while now, even with the heat gun. There's one more thing I want to do, and I think this will enhance it a bit more. You see his eyes? I think they need to come out more, so I will attempt to use a small brush and put some gesso right into his eyes to make them stand out more. Now this could ruin the whole thing. So let's just hope that I'm able to do this. Yeah. What do you think? Does he look like a ghost now? I don't know. Well, I can always add some more black around it. That's fine. I think I'll do that once this has dried. What I've done in the meantime, I've added some black to his eyes, and then kind of one thing led to another, and I kind of outlined everything with a black fine liner, and I'm quite happy with it now. Once I add this to my winter journal, I can then add a sentiment or add a topper or something. So one last one to go, but since this video is so long already, I think I will do that off camera and then present you with the final tag. Finally, this is number 50, and this is a bit different, right? I'm sad now I didn't take you along making this, but I will explain how I made this. I took a part of this postcard, which I then cut down even further. I added gesso on the bottom. Then I went around the edges with my butterscotch alcohol ink, so that's this yellow. Then I added some burnt sienna around it, and then I just remembered, because you see inside here it says cinema tickets, so these are the same as these here, only distressed a little bit with vintage photo. And then I remembered, seeing the cinema, I remembered I had this new die that I've never used before, of like a film roll. And this one I got from AliExpress. I ordered this, I think, in March before the lockdown, and I think I got it maybe end of August, so almost 5 months. I thought I had totally given up on it, but it actually still came, and I love it. So then I did the same thing with that. So I cut out of another postcard, I added gesso on top of it, and then I added again the butterscotch alcohol ink, then some of this, and both of these I grunged up a little bit as well with my espresso truffle and some vintage photo, and I just glued the tickets on the bottom and then added the frame and added the whole thing to the postcard. So very, very grungy. I know it's not everyone's taste, but I must say I really like it. Let's do a quick recap of all the fun tags that we made. And lastly, the 5 that we made today. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wow, I think I'm good to go for a while. Thank you so much, Sharika, for this amazing challenge. I really loved it. I had a huge respect to start. I'm so happy I did it. I'm so happy you believed in me. And it was so interesting to see my progression and my development during this process of making 50. I started out really timid and just kind of layering a few things. And as I made more and more, you see, I got more and more into mixed media and experimenting more, and I just loved it. Who knows what would happen if I have to do 100, but please don't challenge me to do that. I hope this was inspiring for you to watch. Maybe you got some ideas for your own tags. Use your supplies. Don't always buy new stuff. Try to come up with ways to use what you have. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please give this a like if you enjoyed it. And I would love to have you subscribe if you haven't, if you want to see more. I have tons of more videos to come with fun ideas. And as always, love you guys. Mwah, mwah.